there's a Mulan remake.
Oh, yeah. What do you think, Luke? Do you think that it was bad that they didn't cast a white woman to play Mulan?
Yeah. No, I would have loved to see that.
I think it would have been good. Who's playing the dragon? Do you know?
No, there isn't a dragon. I don't think a dragon's in it, yeah.
It's crazy.
I know it is.
How will it even be the classic Chinese folktale without a dragon played by Eddie Murphy?
I believe it was Chris Rock.
Oh, was it? Oh,
you
goodness me.
Massive racist.
Yeah, but they sound similar too.
Yeah, no, I know they do.
I'm voicist, Luke. I'm voicist.
They actually do sound quite similar. So yes, I can understand why you mix them up. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be good, because the thing is they're getting rid of all the side characters. It looks a lot less fun. It looks more like a serious action movie.
Yeah. Like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, and in other film news, did you see the new Star Wars release? There's a Sith Trooper, which is a red stormtrooper. They released that. So the new Captain Phasma thing. Yeah.
I need to see this. This sounds like it's really good world building. Oh wow, it's a stormtrooper, okay, but it's a different colour.
I know, exactly.
What incredible. Yeah. I mean, how do they come up with this stuff?
I know, right? And it's
you know what, to be honest, I think they're taking Star Wars to far too many new and strange places. I don't really approve.
I would love to see the brainstorming session. It's like, what can we need a bad guy, Sith, Stormtrooper, Sith Trooper. There we go.
Yeah, that's so bad. I mean, so is Captain Phasma gone now? Is that what we're assuming?
Well, yeah, I mean, I
would
guess so.
Yeah. I don't know, yeah, people survive anything in this. What is it? The line, the meme, no one's truly gone.
No one's really gone.
Hello and welcome to Select and Reflect, the movie review podcast where we look at films that have come out relatively recently at the cinema and see if they still hold up upon a second watch. I am your host, Michael, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Luke. And this week we are celebrating the release of the live-action Lion King, or as we like to call it, live-in-action.
Great.
Lion King, by looking at The Lion King. Luke, why don't you tell us a thing or two about The Lion King?
Okay, sure thing, Michael. So, The Lion King, by the way, it is 25 years old.
Yeah, that would make sense, yeah.
Came out in 1994, so it's also the 25-year anniversary, but I think last week I said it was 27 years, so my bad.
You liar.
It's only 25, yeah. Anyway, The Lion King is a 1994 American animated musical film produced by Walt Disney and released by Walt Disney. It is the 32nd Disney animated feature film, and the 5th animated film produced during the period known as the Disney Renaissance. Obviously, we've covered that period while we talked about Aladdin. And we'll be covering it again as Disney release more and more of these movies, these live-action movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're all from the same period. To be honest, we missed a trick with Beauty and the Beast, but that was before our time.
Yeah, it was, yeah. So it's directed by Roger Allers and Rob Minkoff. Stars Jonathan Taylor-Thomas, Matthew Broderick, James Earl Jones, Jeremy Irons, Moira Kelly, Nikita Calamé, Ernie Sabella, Nathan Lane, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of people here. Robert Guillaume, Rowan Atkinson, and Whoopi Goldberg. It was released on June the 24th, 1994, so like I said before, just over 25 years ago. Hans Zimmer did the score, by the way, with Elton John and Tim Rice. They were all involved in the music, which we'll get onto in a bit. And Michael, do you want to guess the budget for Lion King?
10... No, okay, let's start that bit in a better place. I'm going to guess like just short of 100, so let's go for 75. I'm changing my mind. I'm going lower. 75 million.
Wow. You really think it would cost 75 million to produce this movie? 88 minutes of animation in 1994.
Okay, fine. Let me change my mind. 35 million.
45.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because obviously, it was cheaper back then because of inflation.
Yes.
You could buy a house for 85 million back in those days.
Okay, and what did it make at the box office?
A lot. 420 million.
A lot more.
610 million.
I'll just tell you.
805 million.
It's still not there?
1.6 billion and 2.5 million pounds.
968 million. This was an absolute phenomenon. 968 million. Remember what we said last week, Michael? With Forrest Gump?
It made an amount of money.
It was the second highest grossing movie of 1994.
Oh, Okay,
And
then
so,
obviously, yeah.
Therefore, this must be the highest.
Yeah, exactly, because Forrest Gump made 100 million.
Yeah, say it's like 650, I think, somewhere in that range for Forrest Gump. So yeah, this absolutely blitzed Forrest Gump. Almost made $1 billion, which is crazy for 1994. This was a tremendously popular film, The Lion King. And yeah, just an absolute classic, similar to Toy Story in that regard. It also was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry. So yeah, it's an incredibly important film. Or maybe not important, maybe that's not the right word, but certainly very popular. And so yeah, the question is, Michael, did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, so did I. I think it was a good movie. I can understand why it got the praise it did at the time, and still to this day is very watchable. And yeah, I guess when I grew up, it was when I was growing up, this was one of my favorite movies, The Lion King.
Yeah.
Was it the same for you?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's just a really solid film. Again, like rewatching it, I was like, oh yeah, this is really good. Even though I hadn't seen it for a long time, yeah, it still holds up. And obviously, we'll dive into it. But Michael, how many nitpicks do you have?
How many do I have? I think I've got 3. Yeah, I've got 3.
I've got 4.
How many have you got?
I've got 4.
Okay, so I go first. Okay, so number 1, being dunked in lava would kill you. Zazu gets dunked in lava, and he just flies off like he didn't get burnt in lava.
Yeah.
And then 2 really close to each other, to be honest. Simba could have easily died in the stampede right away, and then Scar wouldn't have been able to kill Mufasa, because Mufasa wouldn't have had any incentive to go in there and save him, because he'd be dead. If he would have just got there and just seen Simba splattered on the ground, then Mufasa would have gone, oh, damn it. Guess we're going to have to go bang my wife again and have some more kids, boy. Okay. And everyone would have cheered. And then, so, I mean, that's the thing. Like, really what he should have done is clawed off Mufasa's balls.
Wow.
And finally, so again, very, very close by scene-wise, why did Scar give Simba a head start? He's, like, looming over Simba, and rather than being like, I'm finna kill him now, he's like, run away, leave. And then he's like to his hyena buddies, kill him. And, he could have killed them right away. Anyway, what do you got, Luke?
Yeah, on that kill him one, I think he's maybe giving himself like a get out clause in case Simba escapes. So it's not like, oh, Scar tried to kill me.
That's a good idea.
Maybe something like that. Yeah. Anyway,
I can see you've tried to kill your nephew before.
Yeah, you need to think tactically about it. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, basically you got 2 nitpicks from like the most famous scene in the whole movie when Mufasa dies. But
yeah, I know. What a dick, eh?
Yeah. Anyway, so first one, Michael. Baboons just wouldn't hug a lion. It's completely unrealistic. I've never seen that on a wildlife show. I've never seen a group of animals stand around a lion on a rock and bow down to him.
Well, you know what? I think like sometimes, when it's a very hot day, the animals all do sort of just chill because you know what? It's hot. No one's going to eat anyone because they're all just too tired. So there we go. That's clearly it. This film was just set when it was really hot, and they were all just bowing down. It's
like a gentleman's agreement. It's like
exactly.
Let's not get hunted or hunt today. Let's just chill. It's too hot. Yeah. So global warming.
Is saving lives.
Yeah, exactly. Right. How did Mufasa get to Simba so quickly to save him from the hyenas?
I can answer this one. Okay, because he's Mufasa.
Were you waiting for that?
No, I thought of it just then. Wow. I didn't have it planned out, Luke. We didn't choreograph this beforehand. That's totally valid one. Yeah, he just appeared for that dramatic reveal with the roaring. Yeah,
so Zazu goes and gets Mufasa, but obviously, that would he would have to be quite quick to go all the way to the elephant graveyard and save them. Next up, Simba. Does he really survive on a diet of bugs? Does that really grow into a healthy big lion?
Well, you know what, Luke? They say that we all might have to eat bugs soon because it's killing us or killing the environment to all have, eat that thing we're eating. So clearly, you shouldn't go against the whole bug eating craze because it's the latest hot thing.
Humans aren't lions, though, Michael. And I'm just wondering.
Likely story. Are you suggesting that that lions are obligate carnivores and therefore they have to get their bugs their protein from particular places?
Yes, they're bugs.
Lies.
Yeah. I don't think Simba would survive very long in a diet of caterpillars and fucking beetles. I think
Yeah.
he'd be quite malnourished. Anyway, so Rafiki, the baboon, obviously,
Yes.
he manages to find Simba at the same time Nala does. Obviously, Nala has probed at Simba. Like, who are you? And Rafiki finds him on the exact same night when Simba's vulnerable, and Rafiki can convince him to be king. Very nice.
How convenient.
Yeah, exactly. So, that is my nitpicks. Again, only 4. Also, well, actually, we could add one more. You were...
Good rhyme.
Oh, did I rhyme then?
You said only 4. Also, we could add one more.
Oh, incredible. So
Beautiful.
yeah, you mentioned it before, and I think this is the best place to bring it up. A nitpick on the movie about the fact that The Lion King, could, some people say, be a rip-off of another movie. The film, here we go.
Called Hamlet.
Yes, that's great. The film drew several controversies, particularly for its similarity to Osamu Tezuka's 1960s...
Osama bin Laden's.
Osamu, Michael, Osamu. 1960s anime series, Kimba the White Lion. So,
Yes.
I mean, that's pretty obscure, but I was reading that Matthew Broderick, obviously who voices Simba, did think when he was doing this movie, it was a remake.
It was. Yes, I heard that too.
Yeah. So again, like, if the actor who's playing the main character in your movie thinks it's a remake of something and it's not, well, yeah, that's maybe a lawsuit should have come there. I don't know, but yeah. What do you have anything else to say on that?
No, I mean, like, basically, it's just kind of like Disney are kind of shitty in that, like, their entire legacy is that they've taken these properties that they didn't come up with, like with the fairy tales and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they've just come in and made their own version, and then they get angry at everyone else for copying things. And this time, maybe they just couldn't help themselves. They were like, "Oh, it's a story we want to do, but it's not hundreds of years old. We'll just do it anyway." What a bunch of assholes.
Okay. So before we get into the plot, just a couple more things on The Lion King. It's the highest grossing traditionally animated film of all time, as well as the best-selling film on home video, having sold over 30 million VHS tapes. And
Wow.
I had one of those VHS tapes.
Yeah, I did too,
Back in the
yeah.
day, yeah.
I'll tell you what's annoying, though, when you play a VHS tape and somebody hasn't rewound it back to the beginning.
I know. Poor form that. So,
It just triggers me so.
The Lion King garnered 2 Academy Awards for its achievement in music and the Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture. And obviously has led to a Broadway adaptation as well.
Oh, yeah. Everyone knows that classic story.
Yeah. And also a follow-up movie, Lion King 2 Simba's Pride.
Oh, never heard of it.
Yeah. Okay, and I mentioned obviously it's been preserved in the United States National Film Registry, and that happened in the year of our Lord 2016.
Ah,
Yes. So, Michael, just to go through the plot of Lion King, very similar to a play you mentioned before. What was it called again?
The Lion King, the Broadway show.
Yes.
No, it's Hamlet.
Yeah, very similar to Hamlet. So yes, The Lion King tells the story of Simba, which is Swahili for lion. Very creative there,
clever,
Disney.
yeah.
Unless they copied it from Kimba, which one of
It's Japanese for lion.
Anyway, so Simba is a young lion who is to succeed his father Mufasa as the king of the Pride Lands. That's what his area is called. After Simba's paternal uncle Scar murders Mufasa, Simba is manipulated into thinking he was responsible and flees into exile. Upon maturation, living with 2 wastrels, well, that's harsh, Simba is given some valuable perspective from his childhood friend Nala and his shaman Rafiki before returning to challenge Scar to end his tyranny and take his place in the circle of life as the rightful king. So yeah, obviously the comparisons to Hamlet being... Well, what happens in Hamlet again, Michael?
I'm going off the Simpsons episode, of course.
Yes.
He kills his wife. No. He kills his father. No, he kills his uncle, who killed his father, and then marries his mum. Which is what this was missing.
Does he actually marry his mum?
Yeah, he does, yeah. That's
Really?
Yeah, he does, yeah. It's a fact. Also, do you know where Hamlet is set?
Yeah, Denmark.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
You're a real genius.
I'm not that in culture. Yeah, are you sure he marries his mother? Because I swear that's Oedipus. Like,
Well,
happens in
I mean,
story.
that is Oedipus because you get the Oedipus complex, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's also Hamlet. That's
Oh,
why they call
wow.
it the Hamlet complex. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll look it up just to make sure while you talk about something incredibly interesting.
Okay, well, we'll dive into the plot anyway of Lion King, and I guess just the premise. We mentioned obviously it is like Hamlet, and I think this formula, it's just really tried and tested. Obviously, the jealous brother trying to usurp the king, and you got these classic rivalries in powerful families that audiences just love. And we mentioned Hamlet, which is a classic and what the movie is based on, but also the most successful TV show in recent years, Game of Thrones, was all about this kind of stuff. You know, rivalries and families, and I just say that to illustrate the point of like, it is really interesting to a lot of people, a lot of audiences. Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with families.
That storyline.
Sorry,
with that storyline, you literally couldn't make a bad story about that.
You'd have to be an absolute moron to mess it all up, wouldn't you?
It would be like messing up Star Wars.
Oh god, yes, and obviously. Even though Game of Thrones did falter at the end, as we are alluding to, people really did like that stuff. I would think it's fair to say. It was very, very popular, as was this movie. So yeah, people, and I guess Hamlet was as well. You know, Shakespeare's second most famous play, I think. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, probably. I mean, we all know what the first most famous play is. Othello.
Yeah. Obviously Romeo and Juliet, which we'll mention later on.
Yeah, we will.
Discussing the second Lion King. But anyway, I do think it is kind of a genius idea to take this idea of Hamlet and put it in the animal kingdom, because you've got the old cliche that the lion is the king of the jungle. I mean, even though they don't live in the jungle, but whatever, let's just skip past that. And you have this simple story, but it plays out with lions. And of course, lions are the king of the jungle because they're the bravest and they're the strongest, and all that. Obviously, our national animal in England is the lion.
3 lions on the shirt.
Yeah, exactly, all that great stuff. Because lions are brave and fierce and all that, so it makes sense that obviously
Richard the Lionheart.
Yes, if you are doing an adaptation of the Lion King, if you're doing an adaptation of Hamlet, it makes sense that it's based around lions. If you want to go down the animal route,
yes, yeah.
So yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
it's a really simple idea, but yeah, it's like I said, it's genius because it works so well. So yeah, that's just what I have to say about the premise of the whole movie and why it was, I guess, so popular. Like it nearly grossed $1 billion back in 1994. So yeah, do you want to say anything about that, or do you want to get into the actual plot?
No, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, basically, it is a good idea to just retell. I mean, people love retelling Shakespeare.
Oh yeah, they do.
So basically, I guess it's kind of like you're combining two different things. You're combining retelling Shakespeare with the what if X thing were like human beings.
Yeah.
So it's a winning formula. But yeah, in general, I mean, more specifically about the plot.
Like Romeo and Juliet, that was a big success.
Romeo and Juliet, yeah, exactly. Oh dear. I think I saw that. I swear to God, there have been several gnome films. I've seen one of them. I don't know if it's like a cinematic universe, but
yeah, I don't know. I just love the idea on that film. It's like somebody woke up one day. It's like, hey, you know what kind of rhymes with Romeo? Gnomeo or gnome.
Yeah, I googled gnome films on Google, and the first article I got was the problem with all these gnome films.
Okay, so anyway, back to the Lion King. So in the first part of the movie, you're getting to know all the characters. I think for the first about 20 minutes it happens, and it's the characters are all cliches. You got the young, impetuous Simba. He wants power, wants to be a king.
He just can't wait to have power.
Exactly. That his thinking, his attitude is epitomized in the "I just can't wait to be king."
Nobody's saying do this.
Yeah, and wants to be king for the wrong reasons and all that, but he's a kid, so whatever. Mufasa, the wise patriarchal king, who Simba looks up to because of how strong and brave he is, and Scar, the sly, cunning, smart brother. He's got a chip on his shoulder. And yeah, so that's basically just introducing the characters for the first 20 minutes or whatever. And obviously Scar then manages to convince Simba to go to the elephant graveyard, manipulating his impetuous nature.
I really love that scene. I actually had that written down. I like how Scar did it. He was like, "Oh, only the bravest lions." That's not very professional voice. The weird thing is he just sounds British, but
I
only the bravest lions go there.
obviously I mentioned all these characters are cliched, but I think obviously you can understand why Simba would be like he is and why Mufasa would be like he is, because it's kind of natural, those two characters. But why I would like it if there was a reason why Scar was
a dickhead.
Was a dickhead.
I was thinking that, because
obviously he's jealous of Mufasa, and you could just have like a line thrown in there, like how his father, always treated Mufasa better than him, something like that.
Yeah,
just throw that in there.
The story of Joseph. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, animal stories, but it's the Bible.
Yeah, maybe.
You could have, instead of Jesus, you could have geeses. Geese, a goose. There you go. Honk honk. And, what am I doing?
You should do that, maybe, Michael.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, actually, to be honest, it's a lot like VeggieTales, so basically just animals. Anyway,
why is Scar like that? I just wish there was.
I think the real question is, how did he get his scar? Because I like to think that he got that scar because from Mufasa. And Mufasa, pinned him down and just dragged his claw across Scar and said, "You'll never be shit." And then you'll never amount to anything.
Yeah, that sounds better.
And that's the entire. Yeah, you'll never be shit. Like, that's the problem with shit. Like, it can mean good. Like, you can be like you're the shit, or it can mean shit. Anyway, but yeah, basically, and that's why. So in my head canon, Mufasa was a dick to Scar. So Scar, he was completely justified.
Yeah, again, it's not complex, all of this, and the characters are typical, not very three-dimensional, but whatever. It's for kids. Actually, Simba.
It's because it's 2D animation, Luke.
Yeah, there we go. Simba does grow into that, and we'll talk about his character arc later. But yeah, at the start, just standard, easy to understand characters. So the first major thing that happens, Mufasa saves Simba from the hyenas in the elephant graveyard. And again, I love that the hyenas are the ones that are Scar's minions. Like, they are the perfect animal for that, just like the lions are the perfect animal to be like the kings of the Pride Lands. Like,
honestly, I've had it with this scavenger racism. Scavengers have an important place in the ecosystem, and its idea, like, we use this term scavenger to mean like a bad thing, but they so I kind of sympathise with the hyenas because I wouldn't want to be called a scavenger. I mean, I would, because there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, right, fair enough. Yeah, but again, like, just perfect. It all works so well, and hyenas do have a bit of a bad reputation.
They do.
Yeah, maybe that's because of this movie. I don't know. But yeah.
Or maybe it's because of the film The Exorcist Begins, where some hyenas get possessed by a demon and eat a little African boy.
Okay. Well, thanks for that.
But I agree. And also, I guess because they're so funny, because they laugh a lot, it makes them kind of good, like, goofy sidekicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you got it, boss.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they're his minions. They're just they're just perfect for that role. And I do actually like, after, just back to Simba. After that incident, it does change, like, how Simba looks at the world and his whole outlook, and how he realizes how pathetic and small he is compared to his father. And I really like the moment where he steps in his footstep. It's a bit on the nose, but it's like,
I was going to bring that up, actually. It's a very good moment.
Yeah, I think that's better than, like, exposition.
Although Simba lets him off pretty easily. I mean, especially seeing as Mufasa had to use his teleport ability.
Well, you mean
to save him?
You mean Mufasa lets Simba off pretty easily?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. Mufasa lets him off. Yeah,
I guess. Easily. But that's him. He's got to be likable. He's got to be, the patriarchal dad who's like, "Oh, I'm very disappointed in you, son," in that great deep James Earl Jones voice.
Yeah. No, Simba, I am your father.
Yeah, and that moment also elicits a change from Scar, because he realizes now that he needs to kill Mufasa if he is to be king. So that, I do like how that incident does change two characters' sort of outlook. Well, maybe not Scar's outlook, but his plans at least. And it's not just Simba. And so then obviously he does that in that great song, "Be Prepared," about how he's going to do a lot of bad things.
Yeah, which be a Nazi.
Yeah, we'll get on to all the songs.
We'll get into that, yeah.
We'll get on to all the songs later. Got anything to say about that before we move on to the saddest scene in movie history?
No, I think it's like kind of good. I guess, you know what, Scar, he tried to do it with minimal bloodshed. He just wanted to kill Simba, but now he's realised he's just got to kill Mufasa as well, and I think we can all sympathise with that. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so like I said before, is this the saddest scene in movie history, Michael? The death of Mufasa?
Well, I think, like, it's the scene after he's dead. Like, actually watching him die, I'm fine with that. I don't care. But it's like after he's dead and Simba's like, "Hey, get up."
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
You're not dead. You're not dead.
I don't
They
think
didn't
he
actually
says
say that. No, but it's from an Eminem song actually. But
Okay.
it very much to me, I think it communicates the belief that somebody is not dead.
Yeah,
So that's
right.
why I appealed.
Here's the thing about this scene.
But what about Bambi?
Oh yeah, that's another
You've got
one.
to compare it, because things you've got to compare it to. I mean, the thing is, I don't know, like, I've heard people say, oh, it was so bold of them to kill off Mufasa.
Well, that's
And
the
it's
whole point.
yeah, exactly. It wasn't really bold of them at all, because, like, that's what happens in every single, so I don't get people who say that. Like, I have seen people who be like, yeah, can you believe how crazy it is that Mufasa dies? And it's like, no, it's not crazy. It makes complete sense that he died, because, like, literally the parents dying that's Disney movie number one.
If you're basing a movie off Hamlet and you're not having the king die, then it's probably not going to be the best adaptation, is it?
No, yeah. I think, it would be a bit disappointing.
Yeah, so again, like, you mentioned Bambi, which I think is a really strong contender for the saddest scene, because obviously it's about the parent dying and the kid, like, not knowing what's happened, and it's just so devastating. And Bambi's up there. I can't really think of any other ones that can compare.
What about... No, not at all. I was thinking of when Nemo's mum dies in Finding Nemo, but, that doesn't count.
Yes.
That's not good. What about when... There's got to be another one. I mean, like, I feel like loads of cat people die, but I feel like actually most of the time the deaths are sort of off screen. What about that horrible scene in Frozen when the parents leave and then it cuts to a storm and then everyone looks sad, thus allowing the audience to infer that the parents died? Didn't that hit you right in the feels?
Again, like, I think it's the
directness.
Yeah, the directness of it, and the fact that Simba doesn't know that his dad's died.
Yeah.
And and you can tell how kind of vulnerable he is, especially after the fact that he was mad at... he knew that his dad was mad at him before, and so, he's like, oh, I want to make it up to him, and then he dies. So, that has that extra bit of impact. But this, again, like, you still hear... like, I don't know if here's the right word, but you still see stuff like, I guess, memes on the internet of, like, Mufasa dying, like, and I just remember, like, on football Twitter, like, there's some stuff about Mufasa dying and how sad it was, and, like, comparing it to how, like, a player leaves a club and that, and all the fans are sad. Like, that is the go-to thing, basically, is the point I'm making.
I get you.
In movie history, when you're describing how sad something is.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other one that is up there, though, is Bambi's Mom. People, I haven't been this sad since. So, I think it's definitely a fair contest betwixt the two.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, by the way, it's a really smart plan from Scar. I really do like it, because although obviously it's very sad, you have to appreciate how smart he was, how smart it is, and how well, like, the whole scene is executed. Like, the wildebeest, when they're running down the canyon towards Simba, and, like, the camera zooms into his face to show his terror.
That was really
and good. And the music behind it, the music's so great. And the chase, it's like, it's such a fantastically well executed piece of animation. It really is. And obviously, like, Mufasa rushing in to save Simba, getting knocked down, but getting back
he gets up
again.
Yeah, never going to keep me down.
Exactly, and it's like, it was really emotional. Him sacrificing himself, and then you think he's down, but he still managed to fight back up and climb on the canyon.
Yeah, you really think he's going to make it.
And then he does that roar. When he gets up there, it's like, well, what a king. What an absolute alpha.
Yeah,
and then
he's just, I would have thought he should have been king at the end of Game of Thrones.
And then, obviously, Scar. So all that's great. I really do like the execution of the scene, and then, obviously, the death is great as well, when Scar says, long live the king. Just perfect execution. And then,
literally.
Yeah, literally. Perfect execution in more ways than one. Yeah, it's just the line, how Scar delivers it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's a good thing he didn't get mixed up and accidentally say, "I killed Mufasa."
And
that would have been confusing.
Yes, and Simba obviously then saying, "Dad, wake up," pulling his ear. But I think that the pulling his ear is the that's the main thing. So sad. So that scene is an absolutely fantastic scene.
Yeah, it gets you right in the feels.
Gets you right in the feels, but also the animation and the dialogue and the way, it goes, how Mufasa saves Simba and gets back up, and the death of being killed by...
the build-up.
Yeah, the build-up, exactly. It's the
good old trifecta. The build-up, the it actually happened and the it's happened now.
Yes.
All perfect.
Yeah, no, it was really like the perfect scene. They couldn't have done that better. It is really, really well done, all of it, and obviously very, very sad. Hits you right in the feels, as you said. So then after that, Scar convinces Simba to leave, and I don't know about this one, Michael, because you said before there was a nitpick on what did you say? It was like why didn't Scar?
Could have just killed him.
It just killed him. I was like, well, he wants to play it safe.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about Simba here. Like, at the time, I could imagine him just running away because he's a kid.
Yeah.
But I think he should possibly realise further down the road that it was Scar's fault that he's dead because Scar told him to wait there.
Yeah, exactly. Scar's like, I mean, to be honest, it's just like, you were here where all the things were around. Like, especially, I don't know, I'm jumping forward a bit. When he's like, he literally, you can tell the lack of logic where it's just like, he died because of you, therefore it's your fault he's dead. And it's like, I mean, technically, but that's not really convincing anybody who knows anything about anything, is it?
Well, yeah, again, like, because he's a kid, it says in the plot, obviously, he gets manipulated, and he does. Like, he gets manipulated, and it makes sense, but, like, when he's older, he should be like, wait, like, Scar told me to wait there. Surely it's his fault. And
he should have just gone, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He should have just stopped in the middle of the Hakuna Matata song. Hakuna, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I was only there because of him.
And maybe Simba doesn't think it's not even intentional. Like, he doesn't even think Scar was in there. But he's like, wait, like, obviously it's part of Scar's fault as well. And then he may go to, wait, so why was he so keen on
me being
leaving
there?
And me being there? And maybe he could be like, oh, maybe he killed me. But yeah, whatever. But I do like, by the way, like, we've talked about Scar a bit, but he is, like, properly evil, like, full-on evil. And I think even more evil than, like, most Disney villains. I don't know, because the thing is, the way he says kill him to the hyenas.
Oh, yeah, like, it's kind of disinterested. I think that's what makes it. It's almost like he doesn't even care. He's just like, kill him.
It's so ruthless, if you think about it. Like, it's just like, kill him. Like, no empathy, just straight to the point. And it's like, he's...
What a hero.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he kills his brother, kills his nephew, doesn't care about anything, and, like, I do really think that with his accents and the way he looks, like, he's properly evil. I mean, when we reviewed Aladdin, obviously Jafar, like, is really evil, obviously, but Jafar's a bit goofy, isn't he? Yeah, like, Scar's just, like, properly evil. Like, there's nothing goofy about him. So yeah, just the whole scene is really well executed, apart from the logic and of you killed Mufasa because you were there, even though I told you to be there. But whatever. I do want to move on to, Michael, though, a problem that I have with, again, it's kind of like logic, I guess, but with Mufasa. So my issue is Mufasa, he's a bit of a moron, okay? So at the beginning of the movie, Scar literally says to him, don't turn your back on me. So implying, like, oh, you better watch your back because I'm going to come for you.
Yeah.
So, like, if I was Mufasa, I'm thinking, this guy is up to something. This guy's about to do something. Maybe I should, watch out for him. So Simba is found in the elephant graveyard. And obviously, thinking Mufasa told him not to go there. Mufasa doesn't ask Simba, who told you about this place?
Yeah.
Like, surely that's the first thing you'd ask. And then you'd find out, obviously, it was Scar. And hopefully...
And you'd kill him.
You'd put 2 and 2 together and be like, so Scar told Scar told Simba about this place, and then a bunch of hyenas show up, and he said, watch my back. Maybe he wants to kill Simba, so then he can kill me, maybe?
Well, it was like Scar said, he was the one who got the brains, and Mufasa got the brute strength.
Yeah, but Mufasa really can get the brains. I mean, again, like, you've got to, you got to at least ask, like, how did you know about this place? So, yeah, I think in general, Scar gets away with things too easily, I think, and even the lions, like, you think about it, they just accept all these hyenas coming in to their pride lands. Like, they don't put things together. It's like, hey, wait a minute, what's this? Like, hyenas tried to kill Simba, and then, like, a bunch of hyenas are right around here now, running the place. Like, what's going on? Like, yeah, like I said, Scar generally, and with Simba running away, though you can forgive that because he's just a kid, he does get away with things a bit too easily. Like, he's smart and all, but things fall into place a bit too neatly for him, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree?
Yeah. It's he's you know what it is? It's just Scar's just super overpowered until he's not.
That's the thing. I don't think he's overpowered. It's just like none of the other people catch him out.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually, that's it. Yeah, he's not particularly smart. The only time he's smart is when he's manipulating a little kid. So that's what he should stick to.
Yeah, again, like whatever. It's,
yeah, you know what he could have done? He could have been a bit more smart. He could have, got in there with Simba, manipulated him, and then when Simba came of age, Scar could have been there counseling him, and done, because everyone knows that the king, he doesn't really have any power. We know this from Game of Thrones. The king doesn't have power. It's all the manipulators and the advisors and stuff working behind the scenes.
Yeah, even in real life, a lot of the people behind the politicians are the ones who influence stuff.
What a conspiracy theory!
Yeah. So again, I mean, obviously, Scar. Maybe he just wants to be king outright. Maybe he's just consumed with that. So whatever. That's it. That's what happens in Hamlet. By the way, to the kid, does he get exiled or what? Do you know?
No, I don't really know how he ends up disappearing, actually, or like how he ends up leaving the area. But
because I remember in the Simpsons one, doesn't Bart still stay in the castle, but he's just not king, right?
Yeah. He's just chill. Yeah, and to be honest, I think that might be how it is in Hamlet.
So you need to
actually
reach a certain age before you're the king, then.
Yeah, I guess, or or maybe it's Actually, I don't really know why it would be. Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense because obviously if Mos Eisley in The Simpsons wanted to become king, he'd have to kill Bart. Otherwise, Bart would, just be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I love we're referencing The Simpsons from talking about Hamlet.
Yeah.
Shows how cultured we are. Anyway, so then you get on to the next stage of the movie. The comic relief comes in with Pumbaa and Timon. If you've never seen a Disney movie before. Or sorry, if you have seen a bunch of Disney movies before, you'll know there's always a comic relief character, a comic relief sidekick in there, or two, or three sometimes, like in Aladdin. And so you may have been wondering, where's the comic relief character? Like Zazu's in there, but he's not really comic relief. Kind of is, but not really. But along come Timon and Pumbaa. Pumbaa's the guy who farts and jokes about farts and all that. And
hilarious.
Timon's the wisecracking, street smart guy, and they encourage Simba to embrace nihilism, which changes his whole outlook in life. Becomes
too bloody right.
Becomes a stoner. Kind of, but I do like how, even though he's trying to embrace this nihilist phase and the Hakuna Matata thing, don't worry about anything. He's still sad about his dad's death and can't get over it. I do like that. Like, there is still a bit of him in there, which is like, remember when they're looking at the stars?
Yeah, exactly.
And he's and he
tells that hilarious story about
the kings.
Yeah,
looking down on them. So again, I do like that. Nala then manages to find him, and tries to reason with Simba about how the pride is his responsibility. And I guess it's time to get into the Simba's character arc.
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, should we talk about the famous line by Jay Boorman? World famous line by Jay Boorman.
I believe it's Bauman, but go on.
Okay. He said in the Revenge of the Sith commentary track, he said that all of the character development in The Lion King happens off screen, which is clearly not true.
Does it?
Well, the thing is, I think he admitted afterwards, he said he hasn't seen it for a while, and I think his mistake was, what he was saying is he assumed because Simba grows up off screen, or not grows up off screen, kind of grows up via montage, that therefore that's the character development happening off screen. But of course, the problem with Simba is that he grows up physically, but he doesn't grow up mentally. He doesn't learn to accept responsibility. So he's running from his responsibilities still.
Yes.
That's his character arc.
Exactly, yeah. So again, like when he does get humbled by Mufasa as well, obviously, like he scolds him and he's like, and obviously when he steps in Mufasa's footprint, that again is character development, because it's like, I'm not going to be the man or the lion or the king my dad is. I'm so far away from that. So that's him realising that. So that is character development that happens on screen. So
exactly,
Jay Bauman is completely and utterly
idiot.
Incorrect. What a moron. But I'll just say in the whole Simba's arc, I do, I like how he starts off as the typical, young prince, very boisterous, gets humbled, realises how far away he is from being his dad, blames himself for the death of his dad, so, goes into the nihilistic phase, makes sense. And like we said, the part of him that still remembers his dad and respects his dad. And he's not fully in on the whole nothing matters and don't worry Hakuna Matata thing. And I think because obviously after he goes away from those two, like he collapses and like lets out a big sigh.
Yeah.
And so it shows like he's actually unhappy that he's not caring, which I do really like. I think that's what that infers. Like he's actually, he's like, oh, don't worry, but he's actually, he's not very, happy about the stage that he's in his life, and does want to go back and be the king still. And so obviously Nala comes and tries to convince him that, what does she say? Like the king she knows he is or something. And I do really like the character dynamic of someone, in this case Simba, who's capable of great things, not fulfilling their potential for good reasons. Obviously, his dad dying, and he's not got over that. And they're
any excuse
doesn't want to take responsibility, and then being convinced or convincing himself to fulfill that potential, and unleash it. But I do think the problem is, and it's not like the character development happens off screen, rather. I don't agree with that. It's the fact that the problem for me with this, I do really like Simba's arc up to a point, but he just does switch so easily. Like he switches on a dime, it feels like.
Well, he meets a magic monkey. We've all done it.
So he goes from not believing in himself, and he goes from being unsure about himself, and instantly he's back, and he's ready to be king, and he's put the past behind him and all that, and it feels like, it's too easy. Like it happens in like 2 minutes, and then he's back to being the Simba that his dad would have been proud of and all that. And it does undercut, I think, the build up of his character arc, that things can change that quickly for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I don't know. Did you have any more thoughts on his character?
No, not really. I mean, I agree with you that that the kind of change does feel a bit rushed. I think that's always a problem with these Disney films, basically, that the character arc stuff sort of just, they don't really have enough time to build it up. And also, obviously, the thing is, like,
well,
these
they did
films
build it up well. I'm just saying, like,
but I think the other thing is, like, these films are intended for kids, even if they have, and what inevitably I think is the logic is, like, kids would get bored if the film had like too much of a character study focus. So they're like, oh, we'll just have him decide to be good all of a sudden. Yeah, that's my theory.
You could have 5 minutes of him, like an extra scene, like in the morning, after waking up from the night before, and him doing
Hammered.
stuff. Sorry, what?
Hammered from all the bender he's been on.
Yeah, exactly. And just, I don't know, thinking out loud or talking to Nala. I don't know. Like, you could have had something more. I was just like, it's just too easy. Anyway, so I think we should get onto the ending, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I agree.
So
with you that we should do that.
Yes. Sadly, the ending is not that good. I don't think it is.
Do you think that there should have been a massive battle?
Well, there kind of was.
Do you think it should have been a massive battle with trebuchets?
Yeah, exactly. Now, here's the thing. So there's a lot of problems with the ending, and I'll just go through them if I can. So Simba, obviously, he still blames himself for his dad's death, and he doesn't call out Scar for telling him to be in the canyon. Like, even when Scar is like, so maybe he's never just not thought about it before, but like Scar's lecturing him about how he was there, so it's his fault he died, and like Simba doesn't think, well, no, you told me to be there. Because I imagine Simba remembers that, because probably remembers a lot of things about that day, I would imagine. And then, so he doesn't fight back against Scar's accusations. He just mumbles or whatever, and then it suddenly cuts to Simba being like dangled off the edge of Pride Rock. Like, there's a weird cut, like Scar is circling Simba. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it cuts to Simba backing, like going backwards, and Scar and all the other hyenas advancing on him as he's, off the edge of the rock. So, don't know how that happened. And when he's dangling from the edge of the rock, none of the lions, try to save him, not his mum. Like, they're all just fine with, like, him falling into the flames below.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was thinking that too. They're just like chilling. Yeah, like, just should we help? No, I'm tired.
Yeah, let's just see how this plays out.
Yeah, we haven't eaten in a while because there's no food, so it seems like you don't want to waste any energy.
Good point. So yeah, Scar obviously tells Simba he killed Mufasa in a reference to how he killed Mufasa. Obviously, the same kind of situation.
Yes.
And then somehow Simba manages to
jump on top of it.
And
magically.
How does he do that when his paws are pinned to the rock and he's dangling? And Yeah.
You ever seen Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, where Obi-Wan just jumps up from a... Yeah, exactly. It's like that. This film is just like Star Wars: The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, in so many ways. But here's the thing, like, at least in The Phantom Menace, I can't believe I'd ever say those words, but at least in The Phantom Menace, like, he's Obi-Wan's got something to, like, jump up on.
Yeah.
And, like, he's holding onto this thing so he can use that and then jump up, and you can say, well, because of his force power, he can jump super high. But with Simba, it's not the case, really, is it? He can't, like, jump off anything, and, you know, he's not a Jedi, is he?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, that would be a great crossover. But yeah, so, yeah, he just jumps up and Scar, and then it's like, yeah, if you're Scar, like, it's like, oh, how stupid do you look for telling him you killed Mufasa? But he's like...
I know, yeah.
It's like, he had the situation under control, you know. I'm fine with a bit of gloating if you know you've got the job done. And I think, in fairness to Scar, I think he did think he got the job done. And it was just a shame that the screenwriters decided that they didn't want Simba to die.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Well, you know, he just... Nothing was going in Scar's favour, it seems. It was just one of those days.
Yeah, I guess so. And so, yeah, I do, by the way, how Scar just tells everyone, like, he killed Mufasa, like, he's just done with the charade.
Yeah.
Like, I do like that, 'cause that seems, like, believable. And so, yeah, those are kind of all the bits in the ending, which, again, they all add up to be nitpicks, kind of. They're all, like, nitpicky. Like, how does Simba jump up from the rock, and why did none of the lions try to rescue Simba? But all patched together.
Combined, yeah.
Combined in one scene. It does seem like, this is pretty shit. Like...
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Yeah, so, there you go. Got anything else to say about the ending?
I guess Scar's death is pretty cool. Like, it's the classic. Obviously, the hero can't kill people. That's bad. So
happens in the Lion King 2 as well.
Yeah, the hero has to indirectly lead to their own death. The villain has to indirectly lead to their own death. But it was a pretty cool death. I mean, you know, he got ripped apart by hyenas, just like the kid in Exodus at the beginning.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, actually, the fight between Scar and Simba, by the way, it's weird slow motion stuff. I don't know why they did that, but. Yeah, it's fine, whatever. But I do think the hyenas turn on Scar too easily.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Scar also sort of, like, betrays the hyenas too easily. It's like, it wasn't me, it was the hyenas, it was all their fault. And it's kind of like, you can tell as he's saying it, it's literally just like a sort of a cheap setup for the moment where they go, hey, obviously, you betrayed us, so now we're going to kill you.
No, I think I don't really have a problem with saying that. Because
defending Scar as always, are we?
It's his duplicitous nature, like, he'd say something like that. You know, trying to manipulate Simba. Like, it is in his character to do that, but, like, the hyenas... It's just like, he just says, oh, it was the hyenas' fault, they did it. And they're the evil ones. And that's it, that's enough for you to turn on this guy.
Yeah, like, it was pretty minor.
Yeah, again, like, maybe if Scott had said, and I did think about this, you and me, let's kill them together. Let's do that. Yeah. Maybe that would be like, oh, this guy, he you know, like, kill us.
I don't trust him.
Instantly, yeah. He's not really on our side, but just saying, oh, the hyenas are evil, you could be like, oh, he's still on our side, he's just trying to manipulate us. But, you know, the fact that, obviously, if he's threatening to kill you, then that takes up a whole new level, so, you know, then I'd get it, but whatever. Yeah. And, like you said, it's the cliche of the evil guy getting turned on by his minions, so the hero
just like in Spider-Man.
Yeah. The ending is really the weak point of the movie, I feel like.
Oh yeah, hold on. Actually, wait. Something else that I want to talk about. To be honest, I meant to bring this out when we talk about what we're going to discuss. I mean, I guess we need to talk about the fact that it's like there's no real obvious reason why it's really bad, and it kind of seems almost like the message is essentially because it literally starts raining. The minute
you mean why the Pipelands are?
Yeah, so bad.
Oh, I was going to go on to this next in the Circle of Life theme.
Got you. Oh, okay, see, that makes sense, alright, because I was thinking we should bring this up.
Yeah, no, I hadn't forgotten about it, Michael. That is obviously one of the key things in the movie, that the reason why Nala and the rest of the lions are so desperate for something to change or Simba to return, or why Nala's so desperate for that, is because the Pride Lands are all, like, deserted and there's no life. Looks completely barren. And so you'd be like, well, why is this the case? And the movie kind of suggests that it's Scar's fault because Scar has disrupted the circle of life and the natural order as he's not the rightful king. And here's the thing, I don't really like that because it seems pretty dubious. It's like, oh, another lion is now ahead of... Like, it's not like... he's his fucking uncle. He was literally second in line to the throne. You know, it's... he's still like a... I guess he shouldn't have killed, you know, Mufasa, but it's not like it's a fucking hippo running the show, you know? He's still
exactly.
a relative of the king. But yeah, like it does seem pretty dubious. And I do think a better reason for the Prime Lands being barren than that would be, Scar's so greedy. Like, he's so wasteful. Like, he doesn't really take care of the kingdom like Mufasa did. And
basically, it seems like Scar just has to be bad at being a king because the fact that he is a king comes from like the fact he's evil, and therefore it's like, well, he's evil. So,
well, I don't think he's even. It doesn't show he's a bad king, though.
No, that's the thing. Yeah, it's kind of like just the universe conspires against him, really.
Yeah, and that's what I was going back to before. It's like the circle of life. It implies that Scar being on the throne is bad because it disrupts the circle of life, and therefore life can't function.
Yeah,
and I don't like that again because it seems pretty shit reason, and I would prefer it if it's like Scar was actually a bad king, and there were scenes of him being wasteful and showing that he didn't care about the management of his kingdom because he just wanted to sit on his throne and have a lot of power.
Yeah,
but I guess him disrupting the natural order of things, it kind of fits in with the theme of the circle of life. So that's why they did that, because it was all about the circle of life theme.
The circle of life theme.
Yeah, so again, like, those are my thoughts on that. I don't know. Do you agree? Do you think it'd be better?
Yeah. I was just thinking. I think your version would have been better. Yeah. I mean, to me, like, the main thing is like basically the logic is just that if there's it's sort of like a lot like divine right, like the idea that if the appointed king, the divinely appointed king, who's the rightful heir is on the throne, then everything will be fine. And then if the bad king's on the throne, who's not, the rightful king, then everything will be bad, even to the extent that literally just the environment conspires against him. And they don't really show it. I mean, and also, like, I guess the implication is, like, when he says, oh, the hyenas are going to come in, it's going to be great, and it's like playing this ominous music as if it's like, again, it kind of is annoying. I mean, because I literally said, like, oh, they hyenas get a bad rap because they're scavengers. Literally, why would the whole logic is the hyenas are bad, and you have to think, like, it kind of contradicts his own message, because scavengers are a part of the circle of life, and the message is basically that because the hyenas, I mean, that's the only thing I think you can say, because the main policy that Scar seemed to have was, let's let the hyenas in, but it's like, the hyenas are a part of the the circle of life, so why would them being there throw it out of balance?
Because you're missing the point. So it's like a hierarchy. It's a feudal system, so the hyenas are on the outside. They're not meant to be near the top, just like Scar isn't meant to be the king. They're meant to be, the below.
They're the plebeians.
Yeah, exactly. The people who get the scraps, the peasants. So yeah, that's...
Oh, that's fair then. Okay, I understand now.
See, this movie is... well, obviously...
It's right up there with Forrest Gump as far as conservatism goes.
Yeah, I don't know if conservative is the right word. It's very monarchist, I guess.
Yes.
Which you probably expect.
Which, to be honest, is a lot of Simpsons. Simpsons. Disney things do that.
Well, yeah, considering it's called The Lion King, so you would imagine that's the case. Very hierarchical and all that. But yeah, I guess, back to the Circle of Life theme, I guess, if you're going to have like an animal kingdom, it would make sense that the king and the movie obviously has or advocates the theme of the circle of life, because obviously there's this line where Simba says, why don't we eat the antelope? Like, hey, we're meant to rule over these people and they're meant to be part of our kingdom, but don't we eat them and kill them? And then Mufasa's like, yeah, it's all part of the circle of life thing. So it kind of lets them get away with the whole the lion's the king of all these animals and the lion would eat them all. And so obviously that maybe is the reason why they push these.
Do you think this film triggers vegans, because it led to loads of people being like, it's a circle of life, so we can eat all the animals we like.
Exactly. So that's why the circle of life thing, it makes sense that Scar coming in would upset the natural order if the movie's leaning so heavily on that theme. But again, it just, like you said, the environment conspiring against him. Like, how can you say Scar's a bad king? How can you really judge him if everything just goes wrong for him? Like, he's not been given a fair shake, has he?
No. Poor Scar.
Yeah.
What a victim, eh?
Got anything more to say about that? The Circle of Life?
No. I think we can move on.
Well, we're actually going on to the Circle of Life again, Michael, because we are going to talk about the music now.
Yeah, very clever.
Yeah, you see what I did there? And obviously the movie starts off with the Circle of Life, proving what an important theme it is to this movie.
Yep, and that's a good song.
Yeah, and it's not just a good song, Michael. It's an absolute banger.
Yeah, it's all right.
What do you mean it's all right?
Yeah, I like it. The thing is, like, I'm going to be honest, I think the best bit's like right at the beginning.
What do you mean?
Where it goes, that's the best bit of the song. Yeah, so I think, and after that point, I mean, it's pretty good though. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. It's probably, I would say, like, I'm gonna say, I think it's maybe actually though the second best song. That's my hot take.
The second best song.
I assume that you think it's probably the best.
Yeah, I'd say it's the best. Yeah, I'd say it's the best because
that's fine, yeah. I'll let you believe that.
It just starts with the movie great. Like the animation is fantastic, and
the animation for it is really good.
Yeah, and the theme, obviously, it is actually about something. Like the other songs in the movie are just like the characters, exposition. Apart from Hakuna Matata, but it kind of is. But
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, this one is like, it's all about Circle of Life, all about what's not really all about what this movie is, but a big part of what this movie is. And obviously you've got the iconic shot of Rafiki the baboon holding baby Simba on Pride Rock.
Baby Simba. Do 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 baby Simba do 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 baby Simba do 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 baby Simba.
Jesus. Do you have ADHD, Michael?
It's a new meme that I found.
A new one.
A recent meme I found. It's called the Baby Shark song.
And then I just love how it ends as well. It's like it's building up, and it just cuts to the Lion King. I just think, wow, that's an absolutely fantastic start to the movie. Great song, great start, great animation, good message, I guess, of the movie. Like it's about the song. It's actually about something. So yeah, I think it's the best. It's the best song in the movie. So yeah, I think all the songs are really good. So we'll move on to the next one, which is "I Just Can't Wait to Be King."
Yeah,
I was expecting you to do the song. No. The one time I expect you to do it, you let me down.
No one's saying do this. No one's saying do that.
I think be
no
there.
Saying, yeah, be
no
there.
one's saying stop that. No one's saying
hold
see
on,
here.
So he rhymes that with that. Is that what you're saying, Luke?
I think so. Yeah. I know there was.
I don't know how I feel about
in
that.
In The Lion King 2, I remember one of the songs. I can't remember who it was, but they really do a bad rhyme. They literally rhyme like two words that are the same, and then they do another line, and then it's two words which were exactly the same as the one previously. I can't remember. It's one of the earlier songs in the movie, but I was like listening to it and I was thinking, what? Couldn't you have like?
Are you sure? Is it not from the? Is it from the We Are One song?
Yes, I think it is.
Go through life. I don't actually know what it's from, but
yeah,
I could imagine it would be from that because that's got a lot of. Anyway, the Just Can't Wait to Be. It's very upbeat. I liked it. For that, I liked it for its upbeatness. Yeah,
no, it's another really good song. I do love how Simba and Zazu, like, they're going back and forth of each other. The interplay between them is great. It's like, it's not. Sometimes you get like in this kind of song like a character singing and then the other character not singing but like jabbing back at them but just talking.
Yeah.
But like Simba's singing and Zazu's singing, and yeah, it's really good how they, like I said, go back and forth and communicates everything about Simba's motivations and character perfectly. And they managed to accomplish the task ditching Zazu as well.
Yes, I thought that was kind of clever. Actually, that's probably for me one of the big positives of the song is the fact that they actually achieve like kind of a thing by it. So now like we got to get rid of Zazu, and then they sing the song, and it's like, oh, we got rid of him by singing the song. Genius.
Yes, exactly. So the next one, Be Prepared.
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. People say that this song is like one of the best all-time villain songs. I think it's like, it's okay. I don't know how, like, I don't know if I like the melody that much. I like the animation, but the melody is kind of just like, I can't even remember how it goes. But I know, but that yeah, how's like the verses going?
I don't know. So he starts off like calling the hyenas morons.
Yeah, that's good.
And then it says, "Oh, you're gonna get food." So the thing is, I really do like the tune, but the lyrics, they're not great. And so, but I can understand why it's the all-time villain song, because like Scar's voice is just so perfect.
A good voice.
It's such a good voice. It's such an evil villain voice, and the animation as well, and the hyenas, and like him jumping from like platform to platform with the lava. I don't know if it's lava or whatever that.
When it's underground, Luke, it's called magma.
Oh, I'm sorry. The magma like spitting up in the air behind him. Like the animation is so good, and it really it's really fantastically well executed. But I don't think the lyrics are that great.
No, I agree. Yeah, you nailed it, Luke.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. So next, Hakuna Matata. What a wonder.
Okay, so here's the thing about this song. the verses are not very good because they're too wordy. Another thing, farting isn't that bad of a word. Like, it kind of annoys me that so the line is, it's like,
oh, come on, it's early
actually, I don't know what it
90s,
rhymes
Michael,
with.
in America.
I know it's like every time Simone de Beauvoir.
Yeah.
It's like Pumbaa, not in front of the kids, and it's not like he was going to say shat. But that would be good if it was like it wasn't. I didn't feel like it fitted every time that that doesn't work at all. But
I get what you're saying. But we're just a few years off, Michael. Bart Simpson being the menace on America's Youth.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So this is a very different time back in the early 90s.
But no, I mean, like, generally, the chorus is really good, and like the songs are classic. Then you think about it, like the verses are just, I mean, they're scarcely even music. It's like, when I was a young warthog.
Yeah, I know, but that bit's not really pop. I'm talking about, like...
Well, the thing, there aren't really any verses outside of that, Luke, are there? And that's the big problem. I mean, I hate to say it, Luke, but...
Yeah, but you don't need any other verses. You can just say, Hakuna Matata, and the rest of your days, it's a problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. It's just...
Of course. Do you know what Hakuna... Here's a question, though. Do you know what Hakuna Matata means?
Does it mean no worries?
But for how long?
What?
How long is it no worries?
For the rest of your days.
Are you sure it's not just a passing craze? I'm trying to remember if it's craze or phase.
It's craze, yeah. Ain't no passing craze. So, it's not a passing craze.
Good. I'm glad we established that.
So, it's I don't know how they came up with it. Seems a pretty abstract song to come up with, but it was an absolute classic. And I think it's probably the most famous song from the movie.
Yeah. Actually, I do know that Hakuna Matata is used in another Kenyan song. There's a song, I'm not going to be able to remember how it goes, but it goes Jambo, Jambo Wana, Kenya Yetu, Hakuna Matata, something like that. And it basically translates to hello friend, Kenya's my country. And like, I think Hakuna Matata actually means like, I have no worries or something like that, which would make more sense. But so basically, and I think that's kind of a traditional song. I'm going to imagine that song probably predates The Lion King, and therefore maybe they got the idea of the song from the fact that there already was and again, I'm not accusing them of like stealing it, but I'm saying
you better not be.
No, because I know it's a sensitive subject for those Disney folks, but like, because Hakuna Matata had already been used in a song before.
Right, I see.
That's why they came up with the idea, like, hey, what if we made a song with Hakuna Matata in it?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
So anyway, I think Hakuna Matata, at least the chorus, is an absolute classic. It's upbeat, shows how Simba changes as well. It illustrates, everything perfectly about this new philosophy that he's trying to embrace. And it's really, really catchy. And so I am all for Hakuna Matata.
Good.
That's my opinion. And so yes, next song.
Nice sentence, Luke.
No, I just got confused then looking at my notes. Next song is Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Okay, this is the one which, I don't know, I really like it. Because,
are you into
this is
bestiality, Michael?
Well, you know what? I mean, it's pretty hot.
Yeah. What is
great
about seeing a couple of lines banging?
Yeah, well, I really liked how it was about how if somebody falls in love, then it's bad because women ruin everything.
This was the bro song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is what to be honest, actually, it would be a good song if you were like a loser. Let's imagine, you were having like a wedding and you had like some loser friends. I mean, it's not really being loser.
Wow.
It'd be like the thing. It's an idea that would be like good, but then like it would also be really cringy. So you just have to kind of like really own it. But like you had like your friends sing the Simone and Pumbaa songs, and then. I mean, it would be a complete disaster in terms of like people not cringing, but I mean, at least it would be quirky. People go, "Hey, remember he had his friends singing the Simone and Pumbaa bits?" And then, I mean, that's normal, right?
Yeah,
right. Good.
This sounds like something that you would do.
Well, yeah, because I was just thinking you could come to my wedding and wear your Timon outfit.
Oh God. Anyway, so I again, like, obviously it's about Nala and Simba falling in love, like how was prophesied by Zazu, but it is really sweet, and the song is quite beautiful. I will say.
Yeah, I like the way it kind of like builds up. It's like do 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 do. Also, I like the line. It's like the world is in perfect harmony. It's echoing back really to the.
Yeah, it's very very sweet, very nice.
Yeah.
But when Nala gives Simba that look, like, fellas, when a lion gives you that look, what do you do?
Yeah, imagine some lioness looks at your man like this. What are you going to do, ladies?
Yeah. Oh god, great. Yeah, no, but again, jokes aside, really sweet song, really well done. And obviously that was Elton John who wrote that song, I believe.
So he was probably thinking of a man when he wrote it. So just something to bear in mind if you're a Christian.
You know what?
You don't want to pollute your children's minds with that kind of disgusting filth.
I'm fine with that, just as I'm fine with Little Nas Ride Till I Can't No More being about gay sex.
Is that actually what it's about?
I know.
Okay, because obviously I heard that he came out as bi.
Oh, is he bi? Not fully gay?
Oh yeah, well yeah, because that's the thing. I mean, he's basically it's kind of like, you can just pretend that. I mean, you can say you're bi, and I mean, you can just say you're bi and never actually be in a gay relationship.
Okay.
That's like, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying you would have to, but like people, there's like a whole thing within the like LGBTQ community, or as we call it, the LGBTQ community, where it's like, is it still a queer relationship if they're both members of the opposite sex, but one of the people is bi?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No, it is.
But bi people, so bi people get triggered because
they're like culture.
Yeah, bi people are like, my heterosexual relationship is just as valid, and just as, well, not like valid, but like it should be as much of a concern for the LGBTQ community as other people's actual homosexual relationships. That's the big controversy. But of course, they always have controversies, don't they? And that's why they keep adding letters. So
yeah, it's just got the plus, obviously. Yeah. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, actually, there's a really good term recently. It's what is it? Oh, it's GRSM. That stands for. Do you know what it stands for? GRSM? Guess.
Gay.
Retarded. You would say retarded.
No, go on, just tell me.
It stands for Gender, Romantic, and Sexual Minorities, which I think is quite a good way of just referring to the whole shebang.
The shebang. Great. Yeah, but back to the Little Nas thing. I get it's not about gay sex. That is just something that people said when he came out. I think there was a lot of people like, oh, I can't listen to that song again. Yeah, like wait, is that immediately? That's where your mind goes to.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's what I would think of.
It's hot. So, anyway, we got a bit off track from Can You Feel the Love Tonight? But, love is love, Michael. So, and again, Elton John, what did he do? Did he write this song first? And then it was adapted to fit the lyrics of The Lion King? Because obviously the original Can You Feel the Love Tonight, I think it's the original one, has different lyrics. It talks. I remember there's this line in the original. Maybe it's not the original. I'll check about kings and vagabonds. I think.
Well, I always remember. I'm sure there's. See, I think I might be confusing this with another Elton John song, but it's like I'm sure it has the line "warrior" in it, but I'm probably just confused there. I thought it went like something warrior. Do.
Maybe
that might. Yeah, it might be completely made up. Okay. I wouldn't put it past me.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking for the music. Here we go, the Lion King soundtrack. So, by the way, just to sum up, I guess, because we can while I look at this, the soundtrack is really good. And obviously, it was praised, I think, at the time for its soundtrack, and, critics liked it. And obviously, there's been a load of Disney movies released since then. And I think this is the best, soundtrack of any
I don't know which
Disney movie or the best musicals. That's the thing; it's a good story. And when I think of The Lion King, I don't really think of the music. I don't know, but I'm just looking at these songs. I mean, fucking "Circle of Life." That's a great song. I Just Can't Wait to Be King. That's really good.
I like The Jungle Book. I like the Doobie Doo Can Want to Be Like You song. How about that? I mean, Bare Necessities. That's a good one.
But I'm just talking about the consistency. You've got 5 songs, and they're all really good. And a couple of them are, properly good. Wow, this is good. I said, remember in the Aladdin podcast, I thought the Genie song, what's it called again?
It's called Never Had a Friend Like Me.
Never Had a Friend Like Me, that's it. I think that's the best Disney song ever, or one of the best, I think I said.
Yeah, but you're just going to keep contradicting yourself, aren't you? Every single time you do a new Disney film, your praise for the music is going to get exponentially better.
I think this is the reason why these movies are in the so-called Disney Renaissance, because these songs are fantastic. All 5 out of 5, they're all really good, and there's not one which is that's forgettable. They all
go through them. Oh yeah.
So Circle of Life, I Just Can't Wait to Be King, Be Prepared, Hakuna Matata, Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Okay, which one's the worst though, Luke? That's your
question. That is the question.
Which one's the best? I think probably I might say Be Prepared is the worst one.
I love the animation in that one, and I love Scar's voice. And I can remember that, but it's so difficult to choose, which is what makes it such a great movie. But I think I just can't wait to be king, perhaps. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, I could see that.
I think it's because it's the most simple of them all. I think.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, I'm not saying it's bad. Obviously, it's still really good. So yeah, I think the movie, all the songs in this movie are great, and yeah, I think it's the best music in any Disney animated movie. I'm going to say that. I'm gonna make that case. So yeah, there we go. Did you want to talk about humour, Michael?
Yeah, I don't think I had too much to say, actually. The animation, I think we pretty much covered it just by talking about like general stuff. I mean, one thing I wanted to say is that the animation for this film is really good. Especially seeing as, I mean, when we talked about Aladdin, I sort of said the animation was not particularly interesting, bordering on bad in some cases when they used like CGI and it wasn't very good. In this case, the animation was just really good. I mean, this film is like, I think this film might be one of the nicest looking 2D animated films ever.
Yes.
I don't think, I mean, there's, I think Jungle Book looks nice, but that's mostly because of the map paintings that are kind of in the background. But yeah, in terms of, really good quality 2D animation. And obviously, I guess the thing with Jungle Book is that most of the really nice looking stuff isn't actually animated. It's just still scenery in the background. So, in terms of animation, yeah, I think it's probably the best looking animated 2D animated film ever. I think maybe if you get into the 3D animation, you could look at films like Coco and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I had to say about animation. Do you have anything else to say about animation?
No, I mean,
apart from just agreeing with me.
I am going to agree with you because I think ultimately with this movie, what you can do is you can have a load of bright colours because obviously it's set in Africa, a lot of different animals which are brightly coloured, so you can do a lot of it. You can make it look really nice, particularly in the I just can't wait to be king. Like, it's really like they've taken it up another level with the animation, and that is something I don't know. There was a clip released today, Michael, about the new Lion King. Obviously, we're doing this because of the remake of the Lion King, the live action version. And I don't know if you've seen this clip. It was floating around Twitter of the new. It was the new Hakuna Matata.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it, no.
And like, the thing with this, obviously, the animation, they can do a lot of interesting stuff. Like, obviously, in the Be Prepared song, I praise the animation there, and they just can't wait to be king. It's really colourful. But in the Hakuna Matata one, in the new one, like, it's just so bland and boring. Like,
yeah, well, I think that's it. I think the problem is like with the 3D animation, they're focusing on making it look realistic, which means they're not doing as much of the kind of artistic.
Well, it's not animation though, is it? It literally looks like a lion.
Yeah.
And obviously the issue is like the lions can't emote very well. So yeah, that's going to be an issue with all the songs, and like, how can you make it like live action but also capture the same fantastic like animation like was in a lot of these songs, and particularly Be Prepared and Just Can't Wait to Be King. Like, it's very hard to do that, and so that's why I worry I have the original for the new movie. But yeah, in this original movie, like, the animation is really good, and yeah, particularly in the songs, but even not in the songs, everything just looks really nice. And I mentioned it before, but when the wildebeest are running, obviously it's Simba. That's another great piece of animation.
Great piece of animation. Yeah.
This is animated really, really nicely, and I think it's a big step up because I think you criticised Aladdin.
I did.
Yeah. So this is 3 years later, and it's much, much better.
Yeah. I don't know if it's that they didn't use very much CGI in this, or if the CGI just got significantly better. Because I can imagine some of these shots, I think they probably would have used some CGI elements. Obviously, they would have been combining CGI with hand drawn. But yeah,
and obviously,
very good.
Obviously, after this, the next one was this came out in 1994, and after that we had the first 3D animated movie in Toy Story, which we recently did.
Yes.
So anyway, just back to Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I just want to do correction. That was actually the original song.
Okay, good.
So yeah, we were talking about which is the best song, and you said Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I'm correct, right? That was your pick?
Yeah, I did.
Well, the Academy Awards agree with you because it won the Academy Award for Best Original Song, ahead of the Circle of Life.
Really? So did they have both Lion King? Did they have 2 Lion King films nominated, 2 Lion King songs nominated, or did they choose to?
I don't know, actually. You know what? I'll check on that again.
It would be very kind of surprising if they did have 2 Lion King films nominated.
Or maybe because they're both. I think the Circle of Life is original. Obviously, it would have to be original. I believe it is. But yeah, I'll check on that. But yeah, anyway, the one I was talking about was in 2003, a remixed version of the song was included in the special edition soundtrack of The Lion King, again sung by Elton John. So that's what I was referring to. I thought that came before, but no. The actual song in the movie was the original one. So there we go. On to humour. You want to talk about
Lion King. Okay, Lion King was nominated. I found out, I don't know if I found it ahead of you, but Lion King was nominated 3 times for Best Original Song. So Can You Feel Love Tonight, Circle of Life, and guess what, Luke?
Hakuna Matata, it's got to be.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
There you go, wow.
Right.
So we're talking about, obviously, the great
soundtrack.
If you got 3 of your songs being nominated for Oscars in the same year, that's pretty fucking incredible. I doubt that's ever happened before. So this easily, I think that proves it. Like, this is the best soundtrack and music on a Disney, on an animated Disney movie ever. So we're on to humour then. You want to talk about that? Yeah.
So I don't think I have too much to say. I guess I'll say, like, there aren't really any laugh out loud moments in this film. It's not like a particularly. It's not a comedy. I wouldn't say it's film. I just had one thing which I liked. So it's going to be a short little discussion here. But when Pumbaa is talking about, like, what are stars, and Timon says blah 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 blah, and Pumbaa's like, I thought they were balls of gas burning billions of miles away. Just made me laugh.
Okay,
because that's what they are.
Yeah, I know that was funny.
Yeah, and I guess it kind of communicated something about Timon's character. He's the leader. He knows what's going on.
Yeah, he's the wisecracking street smart guy.
He should be played by Gilbert Gottfried.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't laugh particularly well. It wasn't that humorous a movie. It was more emotional than humorous. But yeah, it was fine. It was fun.
Bernie Sanders would pronounce it humorous.
That's great. So you got anything else to say on The Lion King, Michael, before we wrap up?
No.
No? Okay, yeah. Well, I think we've covered it pretty well. Do you want to conclude first, or shall I?
I'll conclude first.
Okay.
So, actually, no, you conclude first, because I haven't actually decided where to put this yet. Wow. That's embarrassing for me.
Wow. Okay.
I just remembered.
So, I'm just looking back right now at the Disney Renaissance period, because, obviously, we talked about it before in Aladdin. We've got The Little Mermaid, Rescuers Down Under, Beauty and the Beast, which was followed by Aladdin, then The Lion King. What a great 3 run of movies. Pocahontas, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, Mulan, and Tarzan. So, I think The Lion King was the peak of the Disney Renaissance. It's got 93% Rotten Tomatoes, which is second only to Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin, the 2 movies that preceded it, by just 1%. Those 2 got 94%. And obviously, no movie ever got higher than The Lion King. The closest was Tarzan, which got 88%. But yeah, Lion King, obviously, it's incredibly similar to Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. In terms of how highly it was rated. And obviously, we've talked about the animation, we talked about the soundtrack. It is the best Disney Renaissance movie ever, wouldn't you say?
I think
it's better than the rest.
I think the one contender I can imagine, I would have to watch the 2. It's been a long time since I've seen this film, but I think Beauty and the Beast could be a contender.
Yeah, but Beauty and the Beast is problematic.
Yeah, okay, well, they fixed all of that with the remake.
Yes, they did.
Everyone loves it. I would say it's easily... I would say it has a very good chance of being the best. But the only thing I can think of is that maybe if I did watch Beauty and the Beast, I'd say, you know what, I really liked it, because I think Beauty and the Beast has a lot going for it in terms of story and emotion and stuff like that. But yeah, you continue, Luke. I'll let you say that anyway. Well,
yeah, we can debate Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King, but I would say, you can argue which is the better movie, but I would say The Lion King is definitely the peak of the Disney Renaissance, because after that it just goes downhill. With, like I said, Pocahontas, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, Mulan, Tarzan.
Yes, indeed.
Pocahontas is the only bad movie, I think, in all of that. But none of them reach the heights of The Lion King. So, yeah. And it's also right in the middle of the Renaissance. You've got 4 movies before it and 5 movies after it. So it's, like, right in the centre of it all. So, yeah, that's what I just wanted to say, just looking historically at this movie in the Disney Renaissance period. So, Michael, where am I going to put this movie in? That is the question.
It's a challenge.
It is a challenge, because the thing is...
It's to challenge.
Again, just talking about the plot in general, I don't think it's that interesting. It's not that complicated. It's, typical hero's journey of Simba and, his redemption. And the characters, they're not that complicated. And, I think the ending really does knock it back a bit. I'm sorry to say, but it does, unfortunately. But again, there's that scene with Mufasa dying, which is done so well. It's executed perfectly. And obviously we have to talk about the music, which is just sensational. and the animation is also sensational. I was looking forward to rewatching it. Like I said, I liked it when I was a kid, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready to watch this movie, and it was enjoyable. And so I think I'm going to put this at an 8.5 out of 10. I think that's reasonable for it. Again, it could have been better, not quite up there with like the best animated movies of all time, but just on the level below, I think. So that's 8.5 out of 10 for me for The Lion King.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you pretty much on the rating, actually. But yeah, for me, like, there are people I know who consider this film a 10, and I suspect the people who do that consider it a 10 on the quality of the animation and the soundtrack alone.
Maybe nostalgia as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But basically, and obviously the soundtrack and the animation are really good. And the animation, I think, is definitely the best. The soundtrack, I think, is probably the best. I think it would be pretty hard to argue it isn't. I think obviously the thing is music is objectively subjective, as it were. Like, you can't really say, oh, you're wrong, this song's great. I mean, somebody could like I don't know, the soundtrack to Hercules. I mean, it's a great song, isn't it? I like the gospel choir. But in terms of like outside of that though, the plot is I mean, it's basically just a kind of generic story. Yeah, the characters are interesting and kind of functional, but there's nothing too massively impressive. I think the one good thing I would say in terms of the plot is, like, I like the idea of sort of the fact that Simba gets taken in by this, don't worry, there's problems, but just ignore it. And obviously then that is contrasted with his duty to step up and be responsible. So I guess that's, the main good thing the film has to offer in terms of the actual story and that character arc. But with all of that said, I'm going to agree with you pretty much placing it in the middle of my 8 area. And I'm going to place it just below Logan and just above Dumbo. And that is a number... let me check. Number 13? Yeah, number 13 slot. The Lion King.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
The Rey del Leon, as it's called in Spain.
Great. I agree with you, by the way, on the characters. I said they're quite nothing to them, but I actually do want to say I do really enjoy Scar. Just how evil he is and the voice. But actually, you know what, Michael? What we did not mention, and I think we should have, is the characters in this movie, or rather the voice actors in this movie. So what we talked about in our last Disney animated movie was Aladdin, and obviously the major draw for Aladdin was
the variety of characters.
No,
sorry, it wasn't. Was it? It was Robin Williams. That's what I meant to say when I said the variety of characters. Yeah,
yeah. Robin Williams as the genie. So, and afterwards, I went and watched. So we did our Aladdin review and all that, and after that review was done, there was a video that came up, and it was by Lindsay Ellis, who I know you know, and I'm sure a lot of people know. And she, I don't know if you've seen the video. It's a discussion
about Robin Williams and Disney, and he didn't want it merchandise, did he?
Yeah, didn't want it merchandise, and that's something we should have brought up at the time, but I just skipped over it because I was like, oh, whatever, just contract negotiations and all that, not that interesting. But it actually was quite interesting, as she detailed out in her video. But she also said something that was, I think, more interesting, or more important rather, which is that this Robin Williams was the start of big celebrities being in these, in these movies as voice actors. So Robin Williams was the start, and this is the next Disney movie, which is The Lion King. You got Matthew Broderick as Simba. He's a pretty famous guy, Matthew Broderick. I'm sure you'll agree.
Yeah.
Obviously, that performance in Godzilla will stand the test of time.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons.
That's a lot of fish.
Jeremy Irons is Scar. Obviously, I thought his performance was, incredible, but especially like his singing voice, so good. James Earl Jones is Mufasa. James Earl Jones, he's quite famous as well. Moira Kelly, decently
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah,
she's famous.
Yes. So again, I think Rowan Atkinson again. He's as Zazu. So this was the first Disney movie, at least, which had major stars playing these characters, and I think obviously that Lindsay Ellis video explains it. How Aladdin, the previous Disney movie, was it did really kick off this revolution. Actors and big celebrities playing these voice actors. But I think in saying that, I think you could argue, well, it's cynical. It's just get people in the movies. It's like, oh, Jeremy Irons and James Earl Jones are voicing characters in this movie. I'll go and see it. But I do think they all do a really good job.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Especially, obviously, James Earl Jones as Professor. That's his iconic deep voice.
What about Rowan Atkinson as Zazu? Because of course he stars in Blackadder III as the advisor to an incompetent king.
Yeah,
played of course George III.
Yeah, it's
the Mad King. So
the one.
Oh, actually, look, I just lied. You should have picked me up on that one. Actually, he doesn't, does he? Because this was during the Regency period where George III was crazy, and it was his son, the Prince George, who would later become George IV, who Blackadder was looking after, and who was of course played by Hugh Laurie.
Yeah, but I've never seen Blackadder, so I wouldn't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah, well, good for you. There was actually a story a few weeks back about how, I think it wasn't true, about how Blackadder was bringing it, there was going to be a new season of Blackadder. And
no, I feel like that's one of those things they say a lot of the time, and it only ever became true with Red Dwarf.
Yeah, but it was an actual story.
Oh, yeah?
Like, I think it was in The Sun. It's not the most reliable source, but whatever.
I believe that.
It was out there. And do you know where it was going to be set, this new Blackadder?
60s.
No, it was going to be set. Well, it might have been set in the 60s, but it was going to be set. The location.
Oh, the location.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, okay. Surely England.
No, I mean like the specific, occupation or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Got you. Like the thing he'd be doing. A policeman.
No,
I don't know.
He was going to be a university lecturer.
Oh, okay.
So I imagine it would have been set in modern times. I imagine there'd be a lot of jokes about getting triggered in safe spaces and all that. So,
oh yeah, well, you know what? I mean, all of these comedy greats, they've come out and they're really upset about the fact that they can't just joke about minorities anymore.
Yeah.
That's what what's his face, John Cleese from Monty Python. So.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, again, so yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen because I think it'd be really bad. Just because, again, if you can already predict the jokes before they come, and those jokes have been done to death, it's probably not going to be great. But anyway, maybe it won't happen. I hope it doesn't. Anyway, so yeah, that was Rowan Atkinson as Zazu, and again, I think the one character in this who isn't that great, Matthew Broderick, the Simba.
Yeah.
The thing is, just because after hearing him in Godzilla, I just can't.
Yeah, you just can't take him seriously.
I can't take him seriously. I can't get him out of my head. But yeah, again, Jeremy Irons, fantastic as Scar. James Earl Jones, fantastic as Mufasa. So yeah, even though Disney were being a bit cynical, I think it did. With these big celebrities, I do think it did pay off for them in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it.
I agree.
So Michael,
hold on a minute, Luke. We haven't mentioned Simba's Pride at all.
Oh shit! Yeah. Do you want?
I was thinking. Yeah. I mean, I just wanted to know, Luke. What do you think?
Well, you told me to watch Simba's Pride because you said it was better than it was given credit for. You said...
I think it was thoroughly enjoyable.
So,
I think it's a fun time for the whole family. Have you ever noticed how, Luke, okay, get this. So, you know how the first film was based on Hamlet? This film, it's not very easy to pick up on. It's based on another Shakespeare film. You hinted at it earlier.
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet, yeah. It's... I just love the fact that they're coming up with that sequel and they're like, shit, well, the first one was based on Hamlet. Why don't we base the next one on another Shakespeare play?
Yeah, well, the thing is, there's a Lion King 3. There's a Lion King 3. I don't know what the plot of that is, but if it's not based on the Blackadder, a Shakespeare play, then I'll be very upset.
Yeah, it needs to be like King Lear or something. That would make sense.
I'm pretty sure someone's eyes get gouged out in King Lear.
Perfect.
So yeah, exactly, great.
So yeah, again, I think on to Lion King 2, you said it was better than its reputation. It got 43% on Rotten Tomatoes, I think.
Yeah. Everyone hates it.
I think I agree. I don't think it's that good. I think it's below average. I don't really get why you wanted me to watch it.
It was so... Okay, Luke, but hear me out, okay? I think the music is really good because you remember that Upendi song? In Upendi, where the pineapples grow sweet. Or remember the, he lives in you, well, blah, blah. Or remember the, as you go through life you'll see. Or remember, the, you will be a king song. Or were there any other ones?
What's the one where all the animals join in to kick?
Oh, Deception.
Disgrace.
Evil as plain as the scar on his face. To be honest, okay, here's the thing. You think I'm joking, but here's the problem. I listen to the music from The Lion King 2 more than I listen to music from The Lion King 1.
What?
Okay. I listen to the Deception song I listen to the We Are One song. I don't really listen to the He Lives in You song, but I listen to the Upendi song. I think the Upendi song is just a real catchy song. In Upendi, where the pineapples grow sweet. I mean, the one thing I will say is really bad about the Lion King 2, which I've noticed more and more as I watch it every day as I get older, is that the animation is very bad. Like, the animation is ugly compared to... They've got the Aladdin syndrome going on. Like, there's a scene... maybe you notice it when they set the fire to trick Kiara into... getting set on fire, and then Kogu has to rescue her. The CG fire is just, it looks like fucking, like, you know, like on YouTube videos, like, where people have those fake explosions.
Yes.
It's like, and you see this fake fireball. That's what it looked like. So, yeah, the animation was bad.
Yeah.
But, I liked the music, and I liked, when, I think Kogu's pretty hot.
Okay. Yeah,
I'd bang him.
okay, so yeah, I think it's just quite bad. Like, it's what you expect, a direct-to-video sequel, which, just gives fans a bit of what they like, but yeah, nothing special, and not really a fan.
Yeah, so fantastic. But you know what, actually, I did find this out because I was curious. Apparently, The Lion King 3, which is actually confusingly called The Lion King 1.5, namely because despite being the third in production, it was set chronologically between
1 and 2.
1 and 2, yeah, there we go. It actually has 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, but what's actually funny is they get shorter and shorter because The Lion King 3 is an hour and 17 minutes. Mm-hmm. So first one's an hour and a half. But anyway, yeah, that doesn't matter. Just thought I'd bring that up. I mean, no one's probably listening because we've already done the conclusion, but I just really wanted to know if you agreed. I'm glad to hear, I wasn't really paying attention, but I've been accused of selectively hearing what I want to hear, but I'm glad you agree with me that it is an underrated gem, a so-called diamond in the rough.
Okay. Okay, so Michael, predictions for The Lion King, the live-action version.
Well, like, a lot of them are done quite badly, so I think I'm going to kind of stick with that, but I don't see... I mean, it could do... The thing is, okay, there's I think fans will probably be disappointed, but I think it will probably be functional enough that critics won't really care. I'm going to go for 70, so that's still quite low, but I'm going to go for 70.
Okay, so I saw that clip, and I'm just like, how is this going to be good?
Okay. See, I haven't actually seen this clip, so I'm just assuming it's going to be disappointing. But maybe you'll be right.
Because I don't know, the lions, they can't emote, they can't do anything. It doesn't look right hearing them talking. You're hearing Donald Glover's voice coming out of Simba, but it doesn't feel like it's coming out of Simba. It just looks like he's lying. I'm gonna have
to watch this clip afterwards. It looks like he's lying.
No, it's just like he's just a lion just running along.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say he was lying, which would have been funny.
So yeah, you said 70. I'm going below that. I'm going 65.
Yeah, right, that's fine. I'll let you do that.
Okay, so...
do we have any receipts?
Yes, we do have one receipt. Spider-Man Homecoming. Sorry, Spider-Man Far From Home, rather.
Oh, I have no idea. I feel like I probably went below you. Usually I go below you.
Yeah, so you guessed 85, I guessed 92, and it is 90. So
there you go. Well done.
I take the win. I move 7-5 in front in this great battle we are having.
Ooh. And so, it's weird that we only started doing this quite late. I mean, we do it almost every week now, and we used to never do it.
Well, because there's a lot of movies coming out, like summer movies. Yeah. We're doing a lot of movies because of the fact that everything is a sequel or a remake. So we've got a lot of original movies to do. Or like for example, John Wick or Aladdin or Godzilla. All based on previous properties. So yeah, what are we doing next week, Michael?
We're doing the Pulp Fiction.
Yes.
I remembered it for once in my life.
Well done. Yes, we are doing Pulp Fiction because of the release of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And so, yeah, that should be great. So, who have you been, Michael?
I've been Michael.
Thank you for listening. We have been selecting and reflecting on The Lion King because of the release of the live-action Lion King and because it was also the 25-year anniversary of The Lion King. And join us next week for Pulp Fiction. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Goodbye.